For part E, you're going to notice once again I've broken the board into two different parts because I'm going to show you two different ways of doing this problem. And again, either one is perfectly acceptable. So when I look at this problem, y to the 6th divided by y to the negative 8th, this time I do focus in on this idea of what y to the negative 8th is. Because if I focus in on that piece, I can actually change this division problem into a multiplication problem. And multiplication problems in general are a little bit easier. So that's what I focus my attention on. So the very first thing I do on this problem is think about the negative exponent. Now, you have to be kind of careful in these problems to make sure that you don't get move happy. So my y is to the positive 6th power in the numerator. Positive powers don't move things. So y to the 6th in the numerator is going to stay as y to the 6th in the numerator. The only thing that has the negative power is the y to the negative 8th in the denominator. So that's the only thing that's going to get moved. So remember, negative exponents move things. So y to the negative 8th in the denominator is equivalent to y to the positive 8th in the numerator. So I have my y to the 6th currently in the numerator, still in the numerator, because it doesn't move. It didn't have a negative exponent. And I'm going to then move that y to the negative 8th in the denominator into the numerator as y to the positive 8th. Now that I have this then, this problem has become y to the 6th times y to the positive 8th. So that means that I can use the product rule to finish this off. I have y to a power times y to a power. I can add those exponents. So this is going to be y to the 6th plus 8th power. 6 plus 8 is going to be 14. So my answer on this problem is y to the 14th. Now, as you look at the right-hand column, maybe you looked at this problem and said, no, I'm not seeing that negative exponent as my first step. I'm seeing this as y to a power divided by y to a power. If that's the case, we could go ahead and use the quotient rule first. So let's write that over here, quotient. So what does the quotient rule tell me? Y to a power divided by y to a power, you subtract your exponents. So this would be then y to the 6 minus, but this already is negative, so you have to be extra careful when you use this technique to realize that you're going to be subtracting a negative. Well, subtracting a negative is the same as adding. So this is y to the 6 plus 8 power. 6 plus 8 is 14. So we end up getting y to the 14th. So once again, as you look at the left-hand column and the right-hand column, we get exactly the same answer. So if you are, like me, somebody who sees that negative exponent first, then you can go ahead and use this technique and use the product rule along the way. But if you see the quotient rule as your first item, you can certainly use that as your technique as well. The only thing you have to be careful about then is what's going to be happening with these signs. So in this case, we were subtracting a negative, so you had to think about that then as an addition along the way. At this point, you are ready to go ahead and check out worksheet 28 as well as the homework 28 as well. Have fun.